What is God according to Advaita Vedanta? What exactly is Advaita Vedanta or non-duality? And what is its place in the ancient Sanatana Dharma? Now, recently we did an interesting podcast with AiR, who is a spiritual mentor, who is an author, and a teacher who teaches non-duality in his own unique way. In this video, which is the second part of our podcast or the interview with AiR, we will go deep into the nature of non-duality, we will understand what God is, and we will understand more about Hinduism and Sanatana Dharma. So make sure to watch this till the end. So please take some time to explain for people who might be listening for the first time, how can they understand this reality?
So, Sujan, I also was trying to get to the reality, correct? So what I did, I bought a lot of books. So I tried to buy Vedas, and then I realized if I buy Veda means first I have to build a new library, such a big library to bring all the Vedas into. So I bought all the Upanishads. What are Upanishads? Upanishads are nothing but the summary of the Vedas, basically.
Summary, yeah.
Yeah, they call it Vedanta. Why they call it Vedanta? It is the Anta. Yeah. Veda Anta. Yeah. Then when I kept on studying, I learned from Ramana, from Adi Shankara, from Vivekananda. I learned they called it the 4 Mahavakyas.
Yeah, from the 4 Vedas.
What is the meaning? 4 Mahavakyas of the 4 Vedas, which are in the Upanishads. Mahavakya. The word Mahavakya means principal statement.
Yes.
They are principal statements. Means this is the principle. Now, the 4 statements are Tattvam Asi, I am Atma Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi.
Yes.
4 statements. So, when I was getting into this, I found the 2 magical words told by Adi Shankara. Neti, neti.
Yes.
Neti, neti means you are not the body, you are not the mind. So, not this. Tattvamasi, thou art that. Actually, Sujan, if somebody only studies these 2 words, neti, neti,
yes, plus
4 Mahavakyas, you don't need to study Upanishad, you don't need to study Vedas.
Yeah.
The nature of reality, what is saying? Tattvam asi, thou art that. You are not the body that dies, neti. You are not the mind that you cannot find, neti. Neti, neti. You are not body, mind. Therefore, you cannot be ego. Neti, neti. Tattvam asi. You are that. What is that? Soul. S-O-U-L. Spark of unique life. What is that soul? The principal statement, Mahavakya says, I am Atma Brahma. I am Atma Brahma means this Atma only is Brahma. This Atma is Paramatma. So when you reach first statement, Tattvam Asi, I am Atma Brahma, then I bring about the next statement, Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi means, therefore, if I am the soul, and the soul is the supreme, then I am the supreme.
Yes.
If I am the soul and the soul is the supreme, then I am the supreme. And this leads to the supreme is in all. Prajnanam Brahma. Everywhere. Prabhu is everywhere.
Consciousness.
And this is also beautifully told, consciousness. This is beautifully told in the word Jagat Mithya Brahma Satya. Brahman Satya, Jagat Mithya.
Yeah.
This is also, I think, Vivekananda has spoken a lot about this also, I think.
Yeah. And Shankaracharya's famous saying, Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya, Jiva Brahma Vinasha.
So people are confused. What is the meaning? Jagat Mithya means there is no Jagat. No, it does not mean there is no Jagat. It means the Jagat is there.
Yeah.
But this Jagat is a appearance. It is Brahma, it is Paramatma, it is Atma, it everything. And science has also declared the same thing in their branch of quantum physics and quantum mechanics, that every particle of matter is nothing but energy.
Yes. And I wanted to mention this also. The 2004 Nobel laureate David Gross, what he has said is, it is even provable, it seems now, that time-space reality is not fundamental, is what they are saying with quantum physics and all that. And if we inquire a little bit, this is exactly what Adi Shankara had said. He didn't say that time space, and Swami Vivekananda called Maya as nothing but time space reality, and now scientists are saying that time space reality is not fundamental. That means that consciousness or something is more fundamental than Maya. That is all what Shankaracharya said.
That's why in 2022, the Nobel Prize was given to 3 physicists for their work in quantum physics in 2022.
Yeah.
And in the Nobel Prize is given means science is accepted.
Yes.
Up to 2022, they were not accepting. Sujan, they were not willing to accept quantum physics and quantum science. Was if you went to some conferences, you are not allowed to quote. You are not permitted to quote quantum physics and quantum science because it was mystical.
Yeah.
Now it has been awarded a Nobel Prize.
After some point, it cannot be denied. Yeah, the truth cannot be denied.
Yeah.
So that was.
So this, I was telling you the 4 Mahavakyas to conclude. If only people contemplate, if you have, you need a right guru. If you don't have the right master, Sujan, if you have one master who tells, a master is just like a GPS. If you have wrong GPS, means no chance of you reaching the right destination. The other day, I was looking at a GPS and driving. Suddenly I realized this is wrong. And I did not understand why it is wrong. After 5 minutes, I realized my data had gone off. The GPS had stopped working. So if your GPS is wrong, the Guru's powerful signal, if the GPS is not correct, for me, it was my Guru Dada who showed me the way. That's all he did, nothing more. He told me that way, that path, that is right, that is wrong. Every time he was guiding me on the path. That is very important for you to understand the Mahavakyas. Otherwise, somebody can, you know it.
Yes.
I mean, since you are in the subject so deeply, there are different opinions. Now, I was having a podcast with so many people who are strongly believing Atma okay, Paramatma okay, but Bhagavan is different. Bhagavan is there in Swarga.
Even
I go to Swarga.
I had this discussion with different acharyas of different philosophies of Advaita, etc. They don't accept that even at the ultimate level, the soul is one with God. They have a certain different framework for reality. But I wanted
no point in arguing.
I wanted to ask you regarding that also. How can we reconcile that? Because so many perspectives. Of course, I understand that the paths can be different. There can be yoga, there can be Vedanta, there can be Tantra, there can be different paths. But the truth has to be one and the same for everyone.
Let us discuss. Since you are very well knowledge, let us discuss. Okay. So now, what is the path of Advaita telling? The path of Advaita is telling
one without
that I am not this, you and me, Sujan is looking like you and I am looking like air. But in reality, you are Atma, I am Atma. We are both energy. We are all becoming part of Paramatma. And science also endorses what we are saying. This whole world is a manifestation of energy. Correct?
Yes.
Let's keep this aside. Let's keep this aside. Now these acharyas who are telling, no, we must have the path of bhakti. We must love God. We must have lot of love for God. We are also telling, you and me also are agreeing, we should love. But that God is a supreme immortal power. I call it SIP, S-I-P. SIP means not Krishna, Shiva, Rama, Jesus, Buddha, Guru Nanak.
Consciousness.
You cannot have, first point of clarity. If the Krishna consciousness people are telling Krishna is God, if the Shaivites are telling Shiva is God, if the Buddhists are telling Buddha is God, if Guru Nanak's followers are saying Guru Nanak is God, if the monotheistic religions are telling Jesus is God. So first question, Sujan, how many gods are there?
So many.
Where are these gods? So and if God, see, even the Bhagavad Gita and those, if you study the scriptures, it is a mixture of non-duality and duality. There is non-duality also in it, and there's duality also in it.
Yeah.
The duality is meant to understand the beginning.
Yeah. And the
And
duality
finally-
exists for us when the ego is there in this transactional plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as a child, how did you believe in God?
Yeah.
How did I believe in God?
Correct.
We need but to believe that after you die, if I tell you after you die you will go to Swarga. So Sujan, tell me, who will go?
The subtle body in Vedanta, if we have to technically decipher it, the subtle body is the one that moves from physical body to one physical body.
And it comes back in Punarjanma. It comes to earth in a rebirth.
Yeah, correct.
But where is this? But where is the Swarga? If the subtle body has to go to Swarga, where is the Swarga?
Maybe there are
And if we have
higher dimensions for experience to the subtle body itself.
So my point is this. If there is such a higher dimension, it is unknown. Nobody can define it. Therefore, if I have a choice out of my awakening and out of my intelligence, if I have to believe that somewhere like Moon and Mars, there's a planet and we will go to the planet, then my question is, who will go? This body will return to dust.
Correct.
And what the Upanishad has taught us, the mind and ego that appears to be reborn in a new body actually does not exist.
Yeah.
It is out of Karana Sharira, which is the ignorance.
Yeah.
Therefore, in reality, this whole Maya is based on avidya.
Yeah. And
Swarga
even if, let's say for argument's sake, even if we say that heaven exists, it exists within Maya, not outside of Maya. So it can be only Maya itself. Yeah.
Yeah. It cannot. There can be nobody. If any Acharya is willing to sit on the table without just quoting some scripture and without blabbering away something, if they are willing to discuss on the table, how can we meet God?
Yeah.
Who is God? Where is God? God is inside you. That's why when we listen to scriptures, why does the Bible say the kingdom of God is within you? The God lives in the temple of your heart.
Yeah.
Why the olden scriptures are telling like that? All scriptures, Sujan, every scripture, Guru Nanak says Ek Omkar, Mool Mantra, is all Advaita.
Yeah. And even
study Guru Nanak's.
Even in my life, only after I came to Advaita that everything made sense. Until then, it was all about faith and believing in some things. But this was very logical. And for me, another thing was if there is one truth and if there is one absolute truth, then the same thing should be validated even in the United States from a modern spiritual teacher and from the ancient rishis of India. So what Shankaracharya says and what these modern teachers, Eckhart Tolle and different teachers say, they are very congruent. They are not saying different things. Yeah. They are simply saying in different ways. But they
call it conscious. The people who don't talk spiritually call it consciousness.
Yeah.
They call it supreme consciousness.
Yeah.
Science calls it dark matter, dark energy. But it's all the same thing.
Yeah.
It's not different.
Yeah. The words are different, but it is pointing towards the same thing.
Yeah. No, I was having a podcast with the respected Swamiji of Krishna. Okay, so the Swamiji of Krishna, we are not criticizing we are not. But what the respected Swami told me, I don't want Atma become Paramatma. I don't want moksha. I said, Swamiji, then what you want? No, I want to go to Goloka. I want to go to Vaikuntha. I want to go play with Krishna. So can you explain to me, Sujan, how you will go and play with Krishna in Goloka? How many fallacies are there in that? There's one fallacy or there are many fallacies?
There are many and what I think is, like, if we set that as the ultimate goal, right? If we before the inquiry itself, if we assume that there is a dimension like that and that is the ultimate thing, then like maybe that will become the ultimate destiny for us. But if we sit with no assumption and if we inquire with pure curiosity, then we will find the truth for what it is. Without any assumptions, if we look at reality, then only we can understand reality.
So so if you can find the truth from an intellectual point of view, But if you are blessed and you are awakened, then you realize it. Then anubhuti, that anubhuti cannot be explained in words. That anubhuti is a realization.
Yeah.
But if you want to believe that the Krishna is there and in Vaikuntha and you will go play, then see, a person of Advaita, a true Advaita follower,
Yeah.
will first of all see God in one and all.
Yeah. There is.
And that means an order of world peace.
Correct.
But I met a very big Swami in the plane following Dvaita. Very big Swami. Very big Swami means having millions of followers. So I didn't reveal what my belief was. I told the Swamiji, so what do you feel, Swamiji, about this? He leaned forward and he told me, he was a Dvaita follower. He told me, first we should take one gun and we must shoot all these Advaita teachers. All these Advaita teachers, first we must shoot them down. No, I'm just trying to bring about a point that the person of Advaita will respect even Dvaita.
Absolutely.
Because it is only from Dvaita you can... No, only from Dvaita you can go to Advaita.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, there is no way. Why is it called Advaita? Tell me why it is called non-duality. Tell me why.
Because it is pointing us to the name itself is pointing us towards the nature of reality. There is one without the other.
Sujan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sujan, but I want to, if you don't mind me telling you, one very important thing.
Yeah.
Advaita is not possible without Dvaita.
Yeah.
Non-duality is not possible without duality. Otherwise, the word would not have been non-duality. You need duality. You need religion. You need kindergarten. Without kindergarten, you cannot go to university.
Yeah.
Without duality, you cannot go to non-duality. You agree? You agree? You don't agree?
Yeah, for the people, for those of us who are in ignorance, we are throughout our life we are in duality. Yeah, so only...
No, but even the ones who are enlightened, even the ones who are enlightened from duality to non-duality.
Yeah, correct. From
Ramakrishna Paramahansa had to kill Kali to reach from duality to non-duality.
Yeah.
Ramana Maharishi believed in Arunachala. After believing in Arunachala only, he was enlightened.
Yeah. Correct.
Even Adi Shankara, all the Shankar Mats are teaching duality and then non-duality.
And the duality in the sense like they are teaching devotion.
That is duality.
Yeah. But
they are teaching this.
But the philosophy of duality and Dvaita, that like you said, that is totally different again.
No, but what happens? See, when we are talking of duality, we are talking of bhakti. Basically, talking of how to go.
Bhakti is,
from
it's a beautiful.
Bhakti is duality. Bhakti is duality.
Correct.
Bhakti yoga becomes non-duality. Om Namah Shivaya. If you say Om Namah Shivaya, it is duality. But if you say Shivoham,
non-duality. Yeah.
Non-duality. How do you get to Shivoham? How can you go to Shivoham? You cannot go to Shivoham without Om Namah Shivaya.
Yes.
I hope you're getting what I'm trying to say.
This is a step that we need to take. Duality.
Yeah. You need. So I tell people, don't try to go to university without kindergarten.
Yeah. Even Vivekananda
don't try to go to
Dvaita, Vishishta Advaita, Advaita. They are progressive in nature. Like people evolve.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you can evolve, or you can go in a roller coaster. You can. Each one's journey is different, but. Person who is in Advaita will not just discount Advaita just like he understands importance of Advaita.
Correct.
And then you reach Advaita.
Yeah. Yes. So and now let's come to, since we're talking about religion. So what do you think is the role of religion? Like you said, it is the kindergarten. But when I look at religion, right, like there is a distinction between every other religion and Sanatana Dharma. So I think within Sanatana Dharma, within this culture that we are in, the spiritual aspect was already built into it. So that was how the society was structured, at least back in the days. So what do you think the importance of religion is?
So what is if you see, my understanding of Sanatana Dharma is the ancient eternal faith. Sanatana Dharma means that eternal faith which was there before him. It was there before Hinduism, correct?
Yeah.
It was there before Jainism. It was there before Buddhism.
Yes.
So what happened, Sujan? What happened? What can we presume? What happened? Sanatana Dharma was that time when there was a belief, for example, in the sun god, in the wind god, in the water god. They were believing in the gods of nature, correct? In the beginning, in the good old days.
My understanding of Sanatana Dharma is that it comes from the Vedas. So Vedas are the foundation, and Upanishads are the essence of the Vedas. So for me, Sanatana Dharma, what we are discussing right now, the non-duality, is the foundation of Sanatana Dharma. At least I look at it that way.
Correct. So I'm again asking you, Sanatana Dharma came first or Vedas came first?
I think they are one and the same. Like, at least in my understanding.
Yeah, but first the dharma was there before they could write it down. Nah? They could not write it down and then create the dharma, no?
Yeah.
Sanatana Dharma must have started as a culture, as an ism, as a kind of a collective belief by a first group of people who existed long ago when that started. So try to imagine with me. So Sujan, just try to imagine you and me were there some 3,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago. Can you imagine we were there? Let's imagine.
Yeah.
You and me are going back.
Yeah.
Now suddenly, Sujan, suddenly you and me were there and suddenly our father died. Suddenly our father died. Then what you and me would have done?
We will cry, we will weep for it.
We would have got bewildered.
Yeah.
We would have got bewildered.
Yeah.
Then we would have looked up at the sky. We would have looked up at the sky. Why we would look up at the sky? Because rain would come, thunder would come. What would we think, Sujan, when we were ignorant at those thousands of years ago? What would we think?
We will think there is something outside of there.
Some power there.
Yeah.
Correct, no, Sujan?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, another thing, you and me were there 3,000 years ago. We were chota boys at that time. Suddenly in the morning, from nowhere, it's dark, sun comes out from nowhere. Then what we would do? What we would do, Sujan? When the sun comes out, what we would do?
We would be happy. We would celebrate it. Yeah.
Either we would be happy, we would fold our hands, or we would offer water. We would do something. Just try to imagine. I'm just saying, try to imagine what would have happened thousands of years ago. Thousands of years ago, before any religion was there, only nature was there. Nature was there or nature was not there?
Nature was there.
You think first Jiva came or first Jagat came?
Jagat.
Because if there was no Jagat, then where did the Jiva come?
Yeah, correct.
So this is what the Upanishad is teaching us. This is what the Adi Shankara is teaching us. Sanatana Dharma, according to me, started at that time. At that time when there was no religion, at that time when there were just these forces of nature, and human beings started to question. Now, you and me, jump to another land. In another land, what they believed that the angel, the fairy of God that came, and the message of God came on a tablet, and they dropped the tablet and something, and the angel went up the mountain and met God and came. Correct? You agree with me? These are two different philosophies.
Yeah, correct.
Are you with me? Are you with me completely or not with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
So Sujan, on one part of the world, there were monotheistic religions. Correct, Sujan?
Yes.
And in this part of the world, we got Sanatana Dharma. Is my understanding with you, or are we on a different point?
No. I'm understanding your thought process, but I understand your thought process. Yes.
So I'm saying monotheistic religions we are not talking about. They are on that side of the world.
Yeah.
We are not. Today's discussion is not on that.
Yes.
But Sanatana Dharma, it became. Let me explain to you what I think. When this Sanatana Dharma, Sujan, started telling people, Ayam Atma Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi. If you had a small child, how do you teach the child the meaning of Atma Brahma? How you teach?
Through stories.
And for stories, you need pictures. And for pictures, you need to have Ganapati, you need to have Shiva, you need snake, you need to put a Chandrama on the head. Correct?
Yes.
We need stories, we need Hanuman. Hanuman carried the mountain. We need that.
Yes.
Now some people who are religious will get offended if they hear. They get offended. Are we intending to offend anybody?
No, not at all.
We are saying that religion had a positive purpose. A positive purpose of trying to make people understand Sanatana Dharma.
Yes.
But it was not possible. Because it was not possible, Hinduism came into being. Hinduism was born as a method to try to teach people Sanatana Dharma. But unfortunately, they became caste system. All those things became in part of life.
Yeah. That is, yeah.
Then what happened?
That is a
Then
dark
came
period for the culture. But then if we look at the source of our culture, the source of Sanatana Dharma is the Vedas. And if we see in the Vedas, then the Upanishads, the truth is clearly there. So
actually, I don't know. Honestly, I'm ignorant about this because my realization is more strong than my education on the subject. So you may be having better knowledge in this matter.
It's not like I'm not saying even I've not studied Vedas as such, but the Upanishads, like even you're very well versed with the whatever you're saying. It's all there. It's the Upanishads are clearly saying what we are discussing.
Then I'm asking you a question. So I'm asking you a question. If you want to believe in these ancient texts completely. Then people are talking about Shiv Purana. People are talking about Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, all these. Now, then what is real? What is not real? How did Ravana had 10 heads?
I will give you my perspective. You might disagree, but like what I think is reality. This manifested universe is very multidimensional, and these stories of Ramayana, Mahabharata are both literal and figurative at the same time. Maybe like these might be this. I think this is history. Ramayana for me, I think it is history. At the same time, the events of Ramayana was meant to tell a story, and it was meant to give a lesson to each and every one of us. So that is how I see it, at least.
I respect what you say, but what I'm saying is it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, true.
What matters is reality today. What matters is my life.
Correct.
What matters is this body is going to die.
Correct.
What matters is what is my purpose on earth.
Correct.
Whether Ramayana happened or did not happen, whether it's a story, it's a reality, it's an argument I don't want to get into.
Yeah.
But what you are trying to get the source, even the source, it can only be inferred. Because Sujan, written history is how old, Sujan? From how long back do we have written history?
Few hundred years, I think.
No, few thousand. Okay, few thousand. Okay, 2,000, 3,000 years. So how can you and me discuss something that was prior to written history?
Yeah, that is why I said in my perspective, that's all. It's just my belief. Yeah.
So with all humility, what I'm submitting to you with humility, what happened more than 2,000-3,000 years ago should be out of reference point. But it should not, even believing in Vedas and Upanishads, Sujan, should not be blind belief. What we have talked today is not blind belief.
Yes, correct. When it comes to the spiritual path, there should not be a belief system. That I agree. But I'm saying the Ramayana, whether it happened or not, it is very relevant because the story of Ramayana influences the culture of
beautiful.
India. Yeah, because...
No, beautiful. Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita is very good.
Yeah,
I am not saying anything. I am not...
And that is the ideal for society, right? Like for many people, for most people, like you said, they're not interested in Atman, Brahman, this philosophical conversation. But they're interested in the story of Ramayana and they want to emulate Rama in their life. Like they want to live like him. So that becomes a great moral, benchmark for the society, I think. Yeah.
Unfortunately, while that is very good, that will never take you to God realization.
Yes.
That will never take you to moksha. The only way to God realization is self-realization. And the only way to self-realization is the Mahavakyas. This will take you to God.
Yeah.
If you want God, if you want to attain God, sorry to say, this is the way. There is no other way.
That is correct. Ultimately, we'll have to go beyond all the duality if we have to attain the absolute. Yeah.
If I read the Bhagavad Gita and the Mahabharata also, I will pick up the non-duality from it and appreciate it from that point of view.
Yeah, and we'll have to meditate upon it and
Like Krishna, when Krishna says the Atma is birthless, is deathless, fire cannot burn it, water cannot drench it. Krishna says, I am in each one of you. If you take all those things from the Bhagavad Gita, it is exactly what the Upanishad is telling.
Correct. Yeah. And like we cover a lot about, most of our listeners are professionals, entrepreneurs, businessmen. Like, what can they take away from all this? How will this help their life if they want to, how can this knowledge help them?
What we are talking is 100% practical advice for a good life. Let us conclude with very clear understanding. Okay? Point number 1. Every human being in this world wants only one thing. Whether you want to become cricketer or director, or you want to become president or prime minister, you want to get married, or you only want one thing. You want to be happy.
Yes.
And happiness is not pleasure. Pleasure comes from self-gratification, sense gratifications. Eyes, nose, ears, tongue and skin. This can only give you momentary pleasure. Like a child wants ice cream. We want a ball and a doll. Why one man does not want a ball? Why a man wants a Ferrari car? Because our pleasures keep changing as we grow.
Yes.
Success is not happiness, because successful people are committing suicide. Rich people are unhappy. Therefore, it's a myth. Therefore, today's discussion is telling us, one, what is the purpose of our life? The purpose of our life is to find out who am I? Why am I here? This is called enlightenment. Enlightenment means being awakened to the truth, overcoming ignorance. To match these two subjects, every human being wants happiness, and spirituality is enlightenment. Happiness has 3 peaks. Happiness has got achievement, fulfillment, enlightenment. With happiness, if you want achievement, money, name, success, fame, you will get pleasure. If you go to the next step of fulfillment, you will get peace. If you go to the third step of enlightenment, you discover the purpose of your life. You will be liberated from mind and ego and body, and you will be free from the triple suffering on earth and from rebirth. Therefore, any businessman, any intelligent man listening to this podcast must understand, what is the purpose of my life? Does my life have a purpose, or is my life a circus? If my life is a circus, I can jump like a clown up and down. But then I will die. Inquiry, after I die, where will I go? Will I come back to earth? What if I am born in a slum? What if I am born as a dog? When we ask such questions, is it even possible for me to be born as a dog? This is the inquiry that leads us from the peak of achievement to fulfillment to enlightenment. Therefore, this understanding, Neti Neti Tattvamasi, I am Atma Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi. It is the ability to realize I am God. It is the ability to realize I am not the body that suffers, not the mind and ego that looks at the mirror and says it's me. I am not this, I am that. This is a practical way of living a life without fear, worry, stress, anxiety, regret, shame and guilt. It is a way to live without anger, hate, revenge, jealousy, pride, greed and selfishness. It's a way to live in Sat Chit Anand. It's a way to enjoy pleasure. It's a way to live in peace. It's a way to achieve purpose. Sujan, I never tell the people who listen to me to give up pleasure. You don't have to give up pleasure. Because when there is realization, there will be automatic renunciation. You don't have to force yourself to not eat this and not do this. Nothing is bad in this world. Everything is beautiful. Because everything is a manifestation of the divine.
Correct.
But if you believe the lie, God lives in the sky, then you will live and die. You will look up at the sky and you will cry. But you will not understand why. And you will not discover who am I. So the people listening, intelligent people in the modern world, they have to stop. And they have to ask the question, 1, what is the way to happiness? 2, how can I reach a state of eternal bliss? And if they match these 2 things, they will learn the path of spirituality which takes to enlightenment, which overcomes ignorance, gives us Sat Chit Anand, gives us eternal bliss. Therefore, practically, this is the way to live and to be happy.
Subscribe to Advaita to wake up. Shivoham.